Wait. If you're over 65 and planning to travel internationally, there's something critical you need to know right now before you even think about heading to the airport. What I'm about to share could be the difference between boarding your flight and being turned away at security. Stay with me, because this affects millions of senior travelers, and the clock is already ticking. Hey everyone, welcome back to Immigration News Today, your trusted source for the latest travel regulations and immigration news that actually matter to you. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss crucial updates like this one. And if you find this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family, especially those who love to travel. Trust me, they'll thank you later. Now, let's talk about what's happening with passport rules for seniors starting January 2026. I know many of you watching this are either planning your retirement travels or helping your parents navigate international trips, and this information is absolutely essential. Here's what's changed. Starting in January 2026, passport validity requirements are being enforced more strictly than ever before, and seniors are particularly vulnerable to being caught off guard. You see, most countries require your passport to be valid for at least 6 months beyond your planned return date. This isn't exactly new, but what is new is how rigorously this rule is being enforced at airports across the United States. Let me paint you a picture of what's been happening. Imagine you've planned your dream vacation to Europe, maybe a Mediterranean cruise you've been saving for years. Your passport expires in 4 months, but your trip is only 2 weeks long. You figure you're fine, right? Wrong. You could be denied boarding before you even leave American soil. The airlines have received updated directives to verify passport validity before passengers board international flights. This means gate agents are now checking not just whether your passport is currently valid, but whether it meets the 6-month rule for your destination country. And here's the kicker. Different countries have different requirements. Some need 6 months, some need 3, and a handful will accept passports valid just for the duration of your stay. For seniors specifically, there are a few additional considerations that make this even more important. First, passport renewal times have been fluctuating wildly. While the State Department claims routine processing takes 6 to 8 weeks, many applicants are experiencing delays of 3 to 4 months. If you're over 65 and your passport is expiring within the next year, you need to start the renewal process immediately. Second, there's been a significant increase in passport denials and delays for incomplete applications. Senior applicants sometimes face challenges with the documentation requirements, particularly when it comes to providing acceptable passport photos or dealing with name changes from decades ago. The State Department has become less flexible with these issues, which means getting everything perfect the first time is crucial. Here's what you need to do right now. Pull out your passport and check the expiration date. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. If it expires within the next 12 months, you should begin the renewal process immediately. Don't wait until you have travel plans, because by then it might be too late. For those of you who need to renew, there are a few options. The standard renewal by mail takes that 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes longer. Expedited service, which costs an additional fee, is supposed to take 2 to 3 weeks, but again, we're seeing longer processing times. If you have urgent travel, there are regional passport agencies where you can get same-day or next-day service, but you need to prove you have international travel within 2 weeks, and appointments are extremely limited. Here's a pro tip that most people don't know about. If you're a frequent traveler or planning multiple trips, request the large passport book when you renew. It has 52 pages instead of the standard 28, which means you won't run out of visa pages as quickly. This is especially useful for seniors who are finally getting to travel extensively in retirement. Now, let's talk about what happens if you show up at the airport and your passport doesn't meet the requirements. In the best-case scenario, you miss your flight and lose the money you paid for that ticket. In the worst case, you've lost your entire vacation, including hotels, tours, cruise deposits, and everything else you've prepaid. Travel insurance typically doesn't cover this because it's considered a preventable mistake on your part. I've been hearing stories from viewers and travelers who've been caught by this. One couple in their 70s had planned a 30th anniversary trip to Italy. They got to the airport only to be told the wife's passport, which had 5 months of validity remaining, didn't meet Italy's 6-month requirement. They lost over $8,000 in non-refundable bookings and had to cancel their dream trip. Another important point for seniors traveling is that some countries have additional entry requirements beyond just passport validity. Many nations now require travel authorization forms to be filled out online before arrival, and some have specific health documentation requirements, especially post-pandemic. Make sure you're researching your destination's specific requirements well in advance. If you're helping elderly parents or relatives with their travel plans, please take an active role in checking their documentation. Many seniors don't travel internationally as frequently and may not be aware of how much the requirements have changed over the past few years. A simple passport check could save them from heartbreak and financial loss. One more thing I want to address is passport cards versus passport books. Some seniors have obtained passport cards because they're cheaper and more convenient for land and sea travel to Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean. However, passport cards cannot be used for international air travel. If you're flying anywhere outside the United States, you absolutely must have a passport book, not just a card. The State Department has also implemented enhanced security features in newer passports, which means those old passports from the early 2000s may face additional scrutiny even if they're technically still valid. If your passport is more than 10 years old or shows significant wear and tear, consider renewing it early rather than risking problems at border control. For seniors with mobility issues or those living in rural areas far from passport acceptance facilities, there are mobile passport services and some post offices that have extended their passport services specifically to help older Americans. Check the State Department website for locations near you that offer these accommodations. Looking ahead, there's talk of additional biometric requirements being added to passport applications within the next few years. While the details aren't finalized, it's another reason why staying on top of your passport renewal now, while the process is relatively straightforward, makes sense. Here's my final piece of advice. Create a travel document folder, either physical or digital, where you keep copies of your passport, travel itineraries, emergency contacts, and important medical information. Keep one copy at home with a trusted family member and carry one with you when you travel. This won't help with the validity issue, but it will make everything else about international travel so much smoother, especially if something unexpected happens. The bottom line is this. If you're a senior planning to travel internationally anytime in 2026 or beyond, check your passport expiration date today and renew if you have less than a year of validity remaining. Don't let outdated documentation ruin the trips you've spent a lifetime dreaming about and saving for. The 6-month validity rule isn't going away, and enforcement is only getting stricter. I hope this information has been helpful and has potentially saved some of you from a travel disaster. If you found this valuable, please hit that like button, share this video with anyone you know who travels, and subscribe to Immigration Update if you haven't already. We're constantly monitoring changes in immigration policy, travel regulations, and everything that affects your ability to move freely around the world. Drop a comment below if you have questions or if you've experienced passport issues at the airport. I read every single comment and love hearing your stories. Until next time, travel smart, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next update. Safe travels, everyone.